Today is such a nice day outside. I'm going on a hike right now to satisfy my soul. Listen, making my way downtown, walking fast, faces past me, I'm homebound. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Okay, but on a more serious note, ready for class. I love that. On a more serious note, I wanted to talk about something that I think is really important. And I just wanted to give like a little bit of a testimony and example in terms of the unintended consequences. And for a lot of you guys right now, some of you guys are dealing with karmics that got kids. And me personally, I truly believe if you have children and you're playing with any type of dark arts or something, you don't give a single fuck about your kids, because you should already intuitively know that that shit could backfire onto you and your children one day. Or when it backfires onto you, it's going to impact your children as well, because you have to feed them, all those different type of things. You live with them, right? And I put out a video a while ago in terms of if you have been under spiritual attack and you got kids, what are some of the things that you can do to help your kids? I feel like it's a good opportunity to teach them about their spirituality, and children are very powerful when they're young, especially with the absence of trauma, or when they're given the platform to heal. So, work with your children. They're going to be your biggest blessings, your greatest protectors. I did have one of my subbies, she says that her son, he has dreams of the karmic doing work on her, and he doesn't really know about magic, or he didn't even know what was really going on with the karmic. You see, that's how intuitive and powerful your children can be for you. Especially when you're on point with them, you don't abuse them and shit like that. So I want to give a little bit of an example. My stepmom, I think I told you guys this. I've been gang stalked my entire life, targeted, bullied, abused, harassed, all of that. My stepmom was jealous of my mom because back in Nigeria, you can have multiple wives. Don't even ask me why. Whatever. So I guess my stepmom was jealous because my mom was very darker skinned. I look just like my mom. And my stepmom is very white. And, back home in Africa, colorism is a really big thing. It's a problem. So in her mind, I guess she was jealous because my dad took all the attention and she was having a baby. She was having a baby and all these different things. And so my stepmom used spell work. She thought that she was going to abort me, and it didn't work. But it did manifest as people trying to kill me my whole life. So that's fun. But the funny thing is, my stepmom also, she put that shit on my grandma too, and my grandma actually lived longer than her mom, because her mom ended up passing away from an illness and things like that. My grandma passed away later in her life from complications of a stroke. But when I used to live there, my grandma would always tell people, when people came to the house, my grandma was not crazy. No, she wasn't. She was with the shit, but she's not crazy. And she would tell people like that my stepmom would do magic on her and stuff like that. My grandma was very coherent, very coherent. And it was so funny because she'd wake up at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and start going off, calling my stepmom all kinds of scallywags. And she would tell my son, okay, Chuku, come and get your wife. Calling my dad by his English name. Shit was going down. 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. My grandma was with the shit. And my stepmom had this spell work on her. But then her mom passed away right before my grandma. So it's like these type of things, it's like the unintended consequences. Now I'm understanding why all things happen the way that they did. So, my stepmom tried to put that curse on me growing up. My childhood, I wouldn't consider it. I mean, shit was really crazy and it was out of control. But for the most part, like, I found a way to make myself happy. Like we had the traditional like neighborhood gang with our bikes and shit like that. We would tear stuff up. In the summertime, because we had a grapefruit tree, we would pick up all the grapefruits and have like wars, and there would be pulp all over the neighborhood. I was a badass, but whatever. So I wouldn't really say in retrospect that I had a terrible childhood, but there was a lot of trauma and a lot of abuse and craziness and things like that, that had went on because my mom was unstable. But this magic, as a part of this magic, was everyone was supposed to hate me. I was supposed to have a horrible life but I didn't die, you see. And I remember when I was younger, the magic never stopped though. They just kept on doing it because my mom would send pictures of me. This is back in the day when you talk about internet access in Africa. No, it's either you have to give somebody something to take over there, you have to mail it or something. So my mom would send them pictures of me and things like that. And I realized that it was magic being done on me, because I remember like 5 years old and I was constantly getting fevers and my teeth were striated. meaning that like they were like chalky because the inflammation from all the fevers and shit like that kind of tore down my enamel when I was younger, right? And then on top of that, I remember like I was like 8 or 9 years old. I just remember blowing up in size, like just gaining hella weight overnight and having these crazy, terrible dreams and night sweats and dreams of arguments and shit like that. But I would be dreaming like I would see the magic and I would have all these crazy ass dreams in outer space and all these different things. So the magic was always going for my stepmom because she just had to prove a point because my mom left to come to America. So she, in her mind, she was like, I just have to prove that he made a wrong mistake having a child by her because my stepmom is very unstable. But the funny thing is, my mom left, went to America. My dad still went and got a whole other bitch. Yeah. And had more kids all over the place. I'm sure he has more kids than he even realizes. Yeah. So it didn't even really matter. But that was the problem because my mom was darker skinned and my mom was prettier than my stepmom. By far, I will say that. But it was because my mom was the only dark-skinned woman that my dad took. I know it's colorist. It's colorist as fuck. It is. I know it is. But that's the mentality back home. You know, people skin bleach. They put all types of money and time into all of that. So it was a problem for her, like that. You know, my mom was smart and she was established and different type of things like that. Even though she's crazy as fuck, and then she got to come to America, so she wanted to prove, like, yeah, they're gonna be in America, but they're still not gonna have a good life. Like that type of shit. She was using magic. Now I see why. I have a younger sister on that side. And when I used to live back in Nigeria, oh my God, we used to do so much. I have so many adventures. It's not how you think it is. No, Africa's actually hella lit. The only problem is just poverty, and shit can sometimes go left because, you know, yeah, ritual sacrifice and the government and policing, and yeah, shit is not as, you know, it could be better, but anyways. My sister, the funny thing is, we're both Virgos. She's a Virgo moon. I'm a Virgo moon too, Vedic. But my sister's a Gemini, and I remember now, it just dawned on me. My sister was always getting attacked. But this is the thing, though. Sister always being attacked. My younger sister, she's kind of karmic too, but she's like a famous makeup artist back home. I don't really talk to her because of just like a lot of the stuff that went on. But now I see why, because the magic that my stepmom had tried to use on me, my sister was always getting into fucking scandals, y'all. When I say like scandals, like, oh my goodness. And I just used to be like, even for like Africa though, that it was kind of extreme. Like, I'm like, this is not, especially the day and age and the age, I was like, this is kind of like wild. But my sister, she was fast, and she was always getting into scandals, and shit was always happening to her, and she was always having females gossiping about her, and she dealt with the same things that I did, except the only thing with my sister is she wants to be accepted. She wants to be popular. She likes to be in front of people. Like I said, she's a very famous makeup artist in Nigeria, but I didn't. At all. Like that was one thing, that the difference between both of us. And now I see why my sister was always going through like toxic relationships and shit like that. I see now the magic, it had unintended consequences. It went right back onto my sister. Like that, because my younger sister was born just like a year or two after me, like a couple years, I think 2 to 3 years after me. So it's like literally like my stepmom gave birth to the curse that she tried to put on me. And it manifested in my sister and all the scandals and shit like that she would go through, because I didn't have my name put in some crazy ass stories, but like my sister used to do some real, she used to get involved in some real shit. Like one time they had, someone had caught her on camera, like doing something with some boy behind the movie theaters. And back in those days, there's no such thing as like texting and MMS because it's so expensive. The telecoms companies are different. They were using Bluetooth. You guys remember when you used to have infrared on your phone? There was like a little patch, and then you put it next to somebody else's phone, and then that's how you could send messages and data. They were using Bluetooth and infrared, y'all. That's how struggle it is back home to send this video around the whole estate. To send this entire video. And you know, estate, they call it estate like a neighborhood. So like if you live in like the Bay Area, an estate would be how big can an estate be? An estate can be like half a city, and that's just your immediate neighborhood. That's just your neighborhood. So everyone in that place knows each other, right? It's gated off and things like that. They sent it to everybody in the estate, and my dad found out. It'll be like little things like that, and I'm sure like more stuff because people have hit me up like because I used to go to school there. People like our old classmates have hit me up and told me things for here and there from time to time, and I'm just like I just can't. That's just hella crazy. Like, but now I see why. Because whatever my stepmom did, it went to her. And then you want to know another thing too, because this magic that my stepmom was playing with, and all the havoc and chaos that she was trying to cause. I remember one of her sisters had passed away very young. Beautiful lady, beautiful lady, crazy. She had like the one thing I just remember from her, she had like really perfect skin, but her sister had passed away hella young, in an unexpected way, and it was that magic that her mama was playing with, you know. And like even with I want to give another example about these unintended consequences with these karmics, and they play with this magic and shit like that when they got kids. I don't think my stepmom thought that it was gonna backfire onto her daughter like that. But my sister really went through hella scandals and hella shit was going on, and her name getting put in hella fuckery, like real insane type of fuckery, like for just our age and like how Nigeria is, like the stuff that we do, like the twerking and all these things, that can't happen back home. Like literally, if someone's parents will see that, they would come to your house and you will get whoopings like flogged. Like right then and there. That's happened to me before. Like somebody's mom or some shit, they see me like at a certain part of the neighborhood or whatever, me and my sister, and then like on my way back home I get my ass whooped, So it's like that type of thing. In the 2000s, it's like the black communities that we would have like in the 40s and 50s, it's still like that back home. So it's like stuff really popped off like in a major way because of this magic my stepmom was using, and now I see unintended consequences. And then like on top of that, just like some of the karmics that I've dealt with, I have children, one of these karmics tried to go out of her way to like quote unquote call herself like spiting me, and she has a daughter, and imagine your daughter being like at the age of teenage years and stuff like that, and having to watch, like her mom not being able to have the things that you want, or having to watch your mom go through hella bullshit and chaos that she conjured for herself because of spite, and that shit backfiring and impacting their daughter, impacting their children in a negative way. Try to do money magic or some shit like that on somebody, and that shit backfiring. Now you don't got money to pay for your kids' stuff, or like you're doing another karmic doing graveyard rituals or some shit like that, and that backfiring back into the house. You already have mental illness, and then that shit just transmuting onto your children, and they're young. They're having nightmares and terrors and stuff like that, and they're depressed, and they're getting bullied at school because the conflict magic and shit like that is backfiring. You see what I'm talking about? Like unintended consequences, But that's why like I put this story out there so you guys can see like this shit is really real when it comes to this magic. I've been dealing with it my whole life. It gets really fucking real when it comes to this magic. I'm gonna give another example with my own mother doing magic on me, with my younger sister. Now that shit backfired onto my younger sister, mental illness, like she's suicidal and all these other things. She's hella unstable. She doesn't have shit to show for in life. She's a complete manifestation of the magic that my mom tried to do on me. She tried to block my career. She was jealous, all these different things. My sister doesn't have shit to show for at her age. When I was her age, I was flying all around the world by myself, getting paid to do conferences and speak and teach and all these different type of things. Racks out the door, period. My sister doesn't do anything at all. She's a manifestation of the magic. So, I try to say that. I say that to say like, you guys don't got to worry about nothing, but it's also like a cautionary tale to be careful with what you play with, because I don't think my stepmom thought that it was going to have a ripple effect like that, because a lot of people got taken out by that shit that she was doing, and my sister got hella impacted. But then also too, my other sister on her side, she was trying to go to university and all these different things. They made her stay up in the house for hella years after high school. She couldn't go to college or nothing. Hella years. And she was bitter because of that, and she would like act hella like off and things like that, but it was because of the magic that her mom was using. You try to block somebody else, then what happens to you? That's why like karmics that play with this shit, and they got kids, I tell you not, they got keep a nigga babies, literally, because if they give a fuck about their kids, they would not even be dabbling in that shit at all. Period. No rhyme or reason for it at all. Let me see what this is about. We'll see what y'all are talking about in this chat before I hop off and go to my little hike. Hi, Aurelius. Yes, we're doing the work. That's so crazy. You said that your mom had a bad pregnancy and they had to do surgery on you so you wouldn't be blind. That type of shit right there. That type of shit right there. Thank you, Cheryl. That type of shit right there. Yeah, that stuff is really real. Wow. 13. Yeah, they do. They do though. They do black magic on your birth certificate, but that's why everyone got a social security number and all those different things. Even being born in the hospital with that bright ass white light shining down on your crown chakra or your face as a child. Come on now, that's immediate. That's immediate like pineal gland disenfranchisement. So that's what I just wanted to say. I wanted to just put this out there. Thank you all so much. You guys are beautiful. I do have a channeled message. I'll be on there a little bit later. And for those of you who did book readings, I will be having a lot of readings out today. So thank you so much. Anyways, y'all, you have a good day, okay? Bye. Let's see what this is about.